Our sentencing proceedings in the Tshegofatso Pule murder case are expected to begin in the High Court in Johannesburg today. Ntuthuko Shoba was convicted in March of the murder of his 8-month pregnant girlfriend, Tshegofatso Pule, in 2020. Shoba faced charges of conspiracy to murder as well as defeating the ends of justice in January. Convicted killer Muzi Malepane described how he and alleged mastermind Shoba plotted to kill Pule. Malepane admitted to being paid 70,000 rand for the hit on the pregnant 28-year-old. We now speak to SABC News specialist reporter Hasina Gori about what we can expect in court this morning. Very good morning to you, Hasina. Exactly just that. What can we expect to happen today?
So it is the arguments and mitigation of sentencing that is expected to take place this morning. We know the state has said that they're going to be asking for the maximum sentencing when they do come to court today and ask for that. The family has also said that for them, they just not want one life sentence, but 2 life sentences, not just for the death of Tshegofatso Pule, but also for the unborn baby that she was carrying at that time. So we can expect that to take place today. From the state yesterday, when we spoke to the NPA, they said they don't expect that the sentencing judgment will be handed down today, but that arguments will take place, and then the judge would then go and apply his mind to it before deciding on what would be the most just sentencing in this matter. So that's what we can expect this morning at the Johannesburg High Court. It's expected to start at 10 a.m. So that's what we can see going forward. It has been quite an emotional time for the family. It's been 2 years, 13 witnesses. They've heard from Muzi Malepane. We've yet to see any kind of remorse or apology from Ntuthuko Shoba. We might see that if he's called to the stand in this mitigation of sentencing proceedings, whether or not he's, I don't think he's even admitted to himself that he was a party to this murder. He's still been denying that he had any, plan in this, and really putting the blame on Muzi Malepane, saying that Malepane has a whole conspiracy against him. And that he was just a victim of this conspiracy and in no way taking any accountability. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not he does take the stand and whether he does apologize to her family or even admit and ask for some kind of forgiveness from them.
The family, we're told, is asking for the life sentence. Do you think we'll see this happening?
Knowing the seriousness of this matter and what he's been found guilty of, we can expect to see him getting at least a life sentence because he was found guilty of her murder. So we could see that most necessarily being handed down.
Hasina, throughout this process, a lot of public interest. Are you seeing that still, that momentum still continuing, or has it waned somewhat since he was found guilty?
We're still seeing support. We know that the Tshegofatso Pule Foundation is expected this morning to be outside court as well. We've spoken to them throughout. They're asking for that double life sentence. We've seen quite a lot of support, not just from the family itself, but also community leaders that have come out. There are also some community members that come out for both sides of the family. We yet to also hear from Shoba's family at all. They've been in court throughout the process, his brother, his father as well, but they have not yet wanted to speak to the media, and hopefully sometime soon we can get them to speak to us and hear from them how they're feeling. I remember hearing from a community member a while back saying that they knew both sides of the family as well, from that community. So we yet to hear from them, but the support has been continuing throughout, from community members, from activists, but also from the families.
And also, just outside the legal process, you've been interacting a lot throughout this time with social activists. Just what conversations are they having about gender-based violence in South Africa and femicide, and conversations that have sprung out of this particular process?
If you'd remember, Tshegofatso Pule was killed during the lockdown time. It was one of the first murders that took place, during that lockdown, and it really, really shocked people because there was a time when people were at home with their families. And I think the conversation we're having is that while we really call for women to be safe, but also for men to be rethought, their space in society, what role they play in calling out other men when they see actions such as this. But also, we also hearing from a lot of these social activists saying that we need more laws to be in place. So on paper, we have some of the best legislation when it comes to women and femicide and safety around them. But we need more police officers that are trained to help women when they come in. We need more shelters as well, but also we need the legal process to work a little more speedily to allow for those that are victims and for their families to get closure and ensure their safety during that time.
All right, that's Hasina Gori as we anticipate the sentencing in the Tshegofatso Pule murder case. Hasina, do you anticipate it will be a long process? Just when reading out the judgment, the judge took quite a while. What can we expect today?
So we can expect the state maybe to call a few witnesses, including maybe a psychiatrist, as well as someone from the correctional services, to give us information on what they think would be the most just and fair kind of sentencing for this crime that was committed. Then we can expect the defense. So we might not see this process taking place completely today or sentencing being heard.
Awesome. Thank you so much for putting us in the picture. Hasina Gori, of course, she'll be bringing us those details once proceedings begin in court.